let's talk another unknown factor. Brock Purdy, he had an MVP caliber. He won his here, let me give you a stat for Brock Purdy. Okay. So he takes over. He wins every game. That the first season was like 8. He gets hurt in the first drive of the NFC Championship game. Kind of hard to call that a loss. So let's put that to the side. Then he wins his first 5 starts in 2023. So he was undefeated, essentially, for 3/4 of a season. Since his first loss, where he started and ended the game against Cleveland, in Cleveland, the Niners are 15-14 when Brock plays. And again, wins and losses aren't a quarterback stat. You just think if a quarterback was truly a franchise quarterback and he wasn't getting paid money, that the team would be much more successful, winning more games. I mean, they won like 70% of their games with Jimmy Garoppolo, who wasn't even a starter and was overpaid. So, I don't know, like, what do you make of that? And do you think that this is going to be a bounce back year for Brock Purdy, where he gets back to winning a lot and posting MVP-esque numbers?
I think it's heavily dependent on 2 guys, more so than Purdy. I think we know who Purdy is. Purdy's going to find his success, um, through the offense and through having Christian McCaffrey on his side. So, is Kyle gonna be in his bag this year? Is Christian McCaffrey going to be healthy? If those 2 things are true, if those 2 things are yeses, then I think Brock will absolutely have a bounce back season. Is Ricky Pearsall as good as they hope he's going to be? Because he's gonna have to burden the load quite a bit, especially early. No Brandon Ayuk. So, I really think to answer this question, to me, I like Brock. I think he's a good quarterback, but not amazing, not an elite quarterback that's gonna carry the team. So the answer to this question is, how is everyone around him going to look? Is his protection gonna be good? Is Brandon Ayuk gonna come back and be good? Ricky Pearsall gonna step up and do well? Is Christian McCaffrey going to stay healthy? Is Kyle Shanahan gonna be in his bag, dialing it up for Brock? Is he gonna let George Kittle run routes, or is he gonna make him a blocker? Like, that's what if Brock's gonna have a bounce back season is because everything around him, is cooking just like it was in 2023.
Get started at factormeals.com/cone50off and use code cone50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Yeah, that's why, like, I agree with you. I think we know who Brock is. I don't think that he's necessarily like up and down, but the situation around him is, and if we're talking about a bounce back season, I think we're probably talking about statistics and production to a certain degree. His production was great the first 2 seasons. His production last year was Jimmy Garoppolo-esque. I mean, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks. Jimmy's done that. 6 wins, 9 losses. What? I mean, again, it's not a quarterback stat, but Tua's never had a losing season. And when Justin Herbert had that one losing season, people got like head coach got fired mid-season. Their defense was giving up 70 points in a game. You just don't really think that this would happen. So, look, he could have a bounce back season. Christian's back, but I don't really expect it to be the same Christian. The offensive line isn't better. It's probably worse. And Ayuk, we don't know when he's coming back. Without Ayuk last year, they were 3-7. Now, there were other guys who were out too, but even if he's not playing his best, he's a threat, and he makes things easier for everyone. So I kind of expect more of the same, maybe a little bit better because Christian's back.
If
But they
Christian's
also, I
back
mean, they also lost Mason, Banks, Moore. I mean, I don't know.
if Christian's back and healthy, I think they'll be fine. I think that's the thing. But also, I mean, you gotta consider, I mean, who is going to be your starting, wide receivers, for the first 3 games? Because Demarcus Robinson is has that been announced yet? Is he suspended
They
officially for
still haven't announced it yet.
Okay, so most likely he's gonna be suspended, I would imagine. So it's on Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall to start the season. We know what
Mhm.
Juwan gives you. He's a great contested catcher, great blocker, tough dude, but he's not like a burner. He's not gonna, out and he's not gonna run routes on dudes and get open. Ricky Pearsall, he
He's
looked
kind of the
okay.
Lenore of the offense. Like, are you really a number one?
Right. That's what's
Yeah.
going on right now, and then
Yeah.
who do we have beyond that? Is Jordan Watkins, the rookie, that guy? Is Jacob Cowan in his sophomore season going to step up and become that guy?
And if
Or
not, what do you got?
what do you have? Right? You don't have much. I think Demarcus Robinson is a proven asset. Even with Brandon Ayuk, we know what Brandon Ayuk was before this injury, but how long is it going to take him to get back to what he was if he ever does? So, like, there's a lot of unknown there as well. Like, are one of these younger dudes going to step up? Isaiah Nair, Junior Bergen, Isaiah Hodgins, like one of these guys out of nowhere. Are they going to step up? Again, this Niners season, man, the schedule looks easy, and I think a lot of people are getting confident because of it. Um, but like, there's so many unknowns.
And you brought up one thing earlier that I think I wanted to say till the end because it's going to transition to our next topic. But Kyle, I think this is very much a Kyle Shanahan question because Brock is only allowed to do so much. I mean, he doesn't have that many choices to make. He gets a couple of plays, he chooses between them at the line of scrimmage, and he executes. Uh, I think what he was asked to do last year seemed difficult. There were a lot of throws down the field into coverage. There weren't a lot of easy throws. That was a departure from what the offense looked like in the past with Brock and especially with Jimmy Garoppolo. So, yeah, I mean, I think Brock's efficiency is going to be highly tied to Kyle. Like, you look at Baker Mayfield, his efficiency really spiked last year. He was a guy who's always talented, but his numbers weren't always the best. And then all of a sudden last year with Liam Cohn and Tampa was like 71% completions, 40 touchdowns, just like a really, really elite quarterback. Well, if you look at his numbers, he completed 100 passes to running backs and completed 90% of those attempts with no picks. That's a really great way to make a quarterback efficient. Whereas Brock completed 45 passes to running backs. And it's funny because you and I used to call him a dink and dunk guy and a check down merchant, but it's like he needs double the checkdowns that he had last year. And that's not on him. It's on Christian and it's on Kyle. Well, it's on Brock to an extent. You got to check it down, dude. Stop trying to be Josh Allen.
I mean, that's the thing too, right? Last year, he was playing for everyone
Your
that
fault.
went down around him. He's playing for a contract,
Yeah.
right? He's trying to go out there and prove people like me and you incorrect about their assessment, and in that process, overdid it. Now, and he even talked about it. I went back and looked at my year one film, and just getting back to my footwork and just taking what the offense gives me. That's what he needs to get back to. So hopefully that's all that was, but there is another side to this too. This is the first time Brock Purdy has played as the established franchise quarterback after getting paid. What is that going to look like for Brock Purdy? Is he going to be more confident? Is he going to be more relaxed? Or does he feel like now I got something to prove because I'm making this much money? So those are more questions coming into this.
Does he change? I mean, I saw it with Kaepernick a little bit. Like sometimes when you're the young quarterback trying to take a starting job away from a vet like Kaepernick with Smith or Brock with Jimmy, you kind of endear yourself to certain vets and get them on your side and you're strategic and charming or whatever. And then you get the job and the contract and you start barking orders at people like you're Tom Brady. I mean, is that authentic? Do people let you do that? I wonder. I mean, Brock's always been a demanding quarterback, but I wonder if I'm just curious. It's a good question. Does he change? I don't think he's gonna be buying things, but does he change his demeanor on the field in the huddle because he's now the man?
George Kittle said he's even more vocal than he was in the past. So already he's I don't know if he's evolving, growing, or changing. I don't know how you want to categorize it, but it's different than what we've seen in the past. Is he going to get to a point where he's, you know, talking back to Kyle, overriding Kyle? He makes 3-4 times what Kyle makes now, if not 5 times. So it's different dynamic. Another question coming into the season.
Is he going to show up a teammate after an interception if he wants to? The cameras understand that it wasn't his fault. Things like that. We've seen Aaron Rodgers with all of his bad body language for years. Sometimes just because you get older and you get richer doesn't necessarily mean you get wiser and more mature. That being said, I feel like Brock Purdy was wiser and more mature than Aaron Rodgers when Brock Purdy was 15 years old. So it's hard to say.
I got a prediction. We're going to see Brock Purdy checking a receiver. It'll be literally checking a receiver during the game this year. That's
one of his own.
Huh?
One of his own. Yeah, I agree. He did it in OTA's minicamp. He was like, He threw a pass behind Juwan Jennings and made it real clear on the field that Jennings ran the wrong route. Or like, no, I think it was like too far in front of Juwan. And I think he told Juwan he needed to like run faster or something. Like, okay,
Yeah,
sure.
you're gonna see it.
Or you
You're
could
gonna
throw a
see
better
it.
pass. I don't know.
Yeah, something's gonna happen where it wasn't done correctly. It's gonna be an interception or incompletion, and you'll see Brock be like, "Hey, dude," like get in somebody's face a little bit. I think that's something that we can see from Brock.